Hey everybody, it's Super Robot Tyson here from River City Retro and the Two Crude Dudes podcast, and I wanted to let everyone have a look at the infamous game cave, or my game room or game collection or basement or whatever you want to call it. I'm lucky enough to have this entire floor to myself to fill with as much crap as I want, and I put up a previous game collecting video or game collection video, but I think this is a little bit clearer and easier to see. But anyways, we kind of started off in the corner of the room with original Xbox and some PSP there, climbing up the Benno Towers. I didn't do my game room in any real particular order. I tried to keep loose cartridge games together, and then at least keep the boxed stuff in somewhat chronological order. For example, boxed in television comes before boxed Nintendo and so on. But as all of you game collectors understand, you got to make the best use of your space and your storage furniture however you can. There was some PS2, and then I do have this tower here, media kind of tower, that's got a lot of my Sega consoles on it: Master System, Saturn, Sega CD Model 1 and 2. There's one of my GameCubes, one of my Saturns, and there is the ever shitty but ever wonderful Philips CDI. I think my television is up there too, and a couple PlayStations. And then climb some more IKEA Benno Towers. You'll see Neo Geo Pocket Color and one N-Gage game. I don't know why. That was TG16, and then look way up, and you'll keep seeing PS1. I love collecting PS1. There's Tamba. Finally have frickin' Tamba. If you listen to the podcast, you'll know about my pain there. Another notable game, you saw Vanguard Bandits there. That was a recent pickup. Moving to the other side of the alphabet, there's Brigandine, some of my Castlevania games. You'll be seeing Lunar shortly. PS1 is one of the highlights of the basement entirely. Elemental Gearbolt, sweet. Got a thing for the working designs, as a lot of you do. Some Final Fantasy games, and essentially moving down the PS1 pile. I was filming this all with my Android tablet, and nearly fell on my ass a few times, having to squat down and navigate the tablet to capture some of the game titles here, so I apologize if it's a little shaky cam. Hiding under the stairs there is the VIC-20, another Saturn, and some other box stuff. Like I said, make use of your space the best you can. That is a Japanese PS1 Gun Con. My Game Gear and games are in that sack there. And here is CDI. You might spot Hotel Mario and a few other gooders. And then this is my small but fairly pure Dreamcast game collection. And there's a few import Dreamcast games there with the orange tabs you can see. I've got like Darkstalkers and a Guilty Gear game, that type of thing. Here's the rest of the PS2. If we had gone in proper order, you would have seen alphabetically the PS2 starts over here and then, kind of warps around onto one of the many Benno Towers you can get from IKEA. That TV was free. I was at a garage sale. They were giving it away. Fits perfectly and looks great for the retro games. And here is my fantastic PlayStation 1 sign that I got actually on Kijiji for cheap. Loved it. You can see my NES and Super NES on top, and we're getting over into the handhelds here. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I do have all my Game Boy Advance games inside the box protectors. I think it's videogameBoxProtectors.com. I buy those for my GBA, my Super NES, Nintendo 64, that type of thing. Here's DS. I have a lot of crappy ones as well as a few gooders in there. There's actually one of the Super Robot Tyson, Super Robot Wars games, which is kind of my namesake. I missed a shelf there, but I do have a bunch of 3DS too. There is Nintendo Game & Watch Versus System Donkey Kong Hockey, complete in the box. And here's some more stuff. My McFarlane Toys Metal Gear action figure little set there with Snake and Meryl is a favorite of mine. GameCube, Neo Geo X, and there's kind of an unholy combination there of the N64 and the 3DO, but there's Pikachu. He does actually talk to me, but that's a matter for the psychiatrist. Saturn, oh, my G.I. Joe box, it's empty. If anybody's got a G.I. Joe cart for me to put inside that to reunite it with the box of instructions, I would take it in a heartbeat. Here's Saturn, Sega CD. I don't have a 32X, so another thing is I have a couple of games, but I actually have to get the console. And I love me some Genesis, so it's all over the place. Way up is boxes for 64, and actually that is a complete PlayStation. I think that was a garage sale find for a couple bucks. And here's some of the real vintage classics of Atari and television. There's some Coleco there. There's Skeletor lording over everyone, so... Fuck you, He-Man! Ah! Got the Hellraiser lunchbox, Bionic Commando lunchbox, and a Mario poster. Although I like to say he gets second billing because Sonic was cooler for me. There is the Neo Geo X. And here is the couch of yore. This couch is long enough that even that tall bastard Tommy can lie down on it and like his head doesn't touch. It's awesome. And here's the main event, I guess, is kind of my NES collection. I'm nearing 250 NES games. I went kind of fast here. Hopefully you can spot some titles if you're interested. Like I said, I'm nearing 250 NES, and I think I'm nearing 200 of PS1. Those are probably my two favorite things to collect. In the basement, I don't have Xbox 360, Wii U, Wii, or PS3 games. They are upstairs, closer to the larger HD TVs, and hooked up there for me to play. So they're not particularly interesting to look at, so I didn't actually film those. And this is all about the Game Cave, where we record the podcast and where we hang out and drink all the beers. So I figured I'd leave them out of the show. Anyways, carrying on with some more NES, there's Ninja Gaiden 3, Suck It Tommy, I Have It and You Don't. And like I said, I kind of split up the loose cart games from the boxed ones. And there's Sonic with a booger on his finger, and he's pointing at the start of the box stuff, which is Odyssey 2. And in television, Atari, and then we get into the box NES. And I've been kind of going crazy on box NES lately. I've had some really good deals, and it's just always fun to put them on the shelf. So this is kind of backwards alphabetical, but a few favorites in there. Rockin' Cats, Ninja Turtles 3. I recently got Operation Wolf, and Side Pocket there. There's Kid Icarus, which I am missing the manual for, so if anybody's got that, hook me up. That is Contra Force. It's a repro case for it, but it's still Contra Force, so there's another big suck it to my boy Tommy. And the Master System starts the Genesis. So we kind of went backwards in filming this, but it's the easiest way to rotate around the room. And there's a big sandwich of EA hockey games. You can never have enough of those. And if we stretch up here, you can see across, trying not to get blinded by the fluorescent lights, you can see the arcade unit, which it's actually an Aquajack cabinet that was converted to a two-player Konami X-Men, and tons of fun to play. It has recently been switched over to contain my Kadash JAMA board. Kadash is my favorite arcade game, so we swapped Kadash into there, and it's running awesome. And I recently bought a nice marquee for Kadash, so I'm going to switch out the X-Men marquee and put in Kadash. Here's some collectible toys and old stuff, vintage stuff. My re-released Transformers, some re-released G.I. Joes, and gotta have Finn and Jake, of course. That's Starcom. And a couple Marvel Legends. The Punisher and Captain Britain are always been two favorites of mine. And here's some original G1 Transformers. Dirge there was a new addition. And before anyone freaks out, I know that that's not an original Optimus Prime cab attached to the trailer, but it's the best I could do for now. Captain Power rules. So at the top of this DVD tower, where it's mainly like Ring of Honor wrestling DVDs, there's a bit of Captain Power. And then here I had to correct a wrong, which was my Superman marquee for my arcade had fallen down. I actually do have the JAMA board for Superman, so I could always switch that in whenever I want to play that game too. And as we've often said in the podcast, don't start collecting magazines. It eats up all your fucking shelf space and a lot of money too. But that's mostly Nintendo Power and official US PlayStation magazine. Now here's the new wing of the Game Cave. This is recent, as in the last couple months at least. Well, June, I guess, 2014. Strategy guides, all my comic book trade paperbacks. I'm a big comic book collector. You don't see the long boxes here, but in another area of the basement I've actually got my comics stored. But this is more the collected editions for the shelf. So there's some statues and I guess resin statues, those Kotobukiya ones of some of my favorite characters. You'll see Captain America, my only graded comic book, and then some pretty sweet-looking hardcovers. Those hardcovers at the top of the shelf are ones that I had bound myself. So those were individual comics that I took to a bookbindery, and they put them together for me. Really cool idea if you want to put some of your favorites together. And here is Crude Studios. So the big desk here and the TV and all that, that was the Roxio game capture device, which was a new addition. That's where we record the podcast, is at that desk. That is a photo of the band Thrice, autographed by the band. My buddy Brian got that for me in person. And some of my vinyl and my record player and everything you would ever need, except a beer fridge. Right against that wall, I'm going to put a beer fridge. Fuck, I got to find one of those. And here's the whole package put together. The fluorescent lights make it a little bright there, so sorry if that's shining in your eyes, but to get the full picture, we'll pan across the room here and enjoy the Super Robot Tyson Game Cave.